Thanks to Jersey Sports Zone, and Volpe makes almost the identical play.
At home, they call me Big Al, and I hit dingers.
Remember that young man, Big Al?
The Minnesota Lynx select Diamond Miller.
Video courtesy of Jersey Sports Zone.
It's an incredible goal, so that's nice. It's deserved the number one.
You got my food. Number 2, New Jersey high school football.
Here on Jersey Sports Zone.
We interrupt this summer vacation to bring you a special Major League Baseball draft edition of the Beyond the Score podcast. I'm Rich Crampanis. Thanks so much for taking some time in July to talk New Jersey high school sports. The Beyond the Score podcast is brought to you by our good friends at RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. We do the pod every week during the high school sports season. We wrap things up in mid-June and realized there would be so much activity going on with the Major League Baseball draft that we needed to do a special draft pod in July. And boy, were we right. 18 names off the board with ties to New Jersey high school baseball. And it all got started with the number 9 pick when Rob Manfred announced that AJ Gracia is a first-round pick by the Atlanta Braves. We covered him extensively at the Ranney School. We were there for his state championship. We were there for his Monmouth County championship. And AJ was kind enough, right after getting drafted, to take some time to talk with us about everything that happens. What's it like to be a top 10 pick? What was the moment like? What's the road ahead? Really awesome insight. Plus, we get to look back on those great days at Ranney. Sit back and enjoy it. When we come back, AJ Gracia, the number 9 pick by the Atlanta Braves, talks Major League Baseball draft when we return.
Before he competed on a global stage, before he upended other countries, before he scored the goal of a generation.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
He was in New Jersey, winning hearts.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We've always known you're a champion, Jack. Now the rest of the world knows too.
Well, it did not take very long for New Jersey to have their footprint on the 2026 Major League Baseball draft, thanks to our very special guest, the University of Virginia Cavalier, Duke Blue Devil, but we'll always know him as a Ranney Panther, AJ Gracia, the number 9 pick in the 2026 MLB Draft by the Atlanta Braves. AJ, congratulations. You had 24 hours. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, feel great. First of all, thanks for having me on. But yeah, definitely a crazy day yesterday. Super excited, super humbled. Definitely a really cool experience.
Why don't you take me back to yesterday? I find it interesting that Major League Baseball is the one draft where they don't have the first round picks on site in Philadelphia. And when I saw the pictures and the moments from you with your family in Monroe, I almost feel like that was probably the best case scenario for you as far as the draft experience. Am I right in thinking that? Or would you have liked to have walked on the stage and shake hands with Rob Manfred?
I mean, it definitely would have been a cool experience, but I definitely think the last couple of years, there's definitely been a shift from, everyone just wants to be home with their friends and family and stuff like that. And that's pretty much exactly what I wanted. And being able to do it at home with people, obviously, that are close to me was really cool. So I wouldn't change it any other way.
So when you think about this process, I think a lot of people, maybe even a casual baseball fan, doesn't understand the draft process. It can be very stressful. For you, you wound up being a top 10 pick. What was it like from your perspective? Because you knew you were going to get drafted. There's guys right now that are in limbo trying to figure out what's going on. What were your stresses like as far as ultimately what went down?
Yeah, it's just super busy. I think, especially, I didn't know what was going to happen until about 30 seconds before the pick happened. Like, I had no idea. I pretty much found out at the same time as everyone else. Even going into the day, I really had no clue at all. Yeah, so it's definitely just that anxiety that comes with it. It's like you're just kind of waiting, and you have really no control over it. But again, it's a fun process. Getting to go through it was really fun, and yeah, I mean, it was pretty crazy.
What was your interaction like with the Braves organization beforehand? Did you kind of maybe have a list in your head of 5 teams? Like, hey, I think one of these teams are going to draft me, and were the Braves on that list?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like going into the day, I kind of narrowed it down to a couple teams. I mean, at least my relationship with the Braves goes back. We met in the fall with the area scout, and then we at the combine we did meetings, and then I mean, my advisor or my agent's always in contact with them, I guess, since the combine, which was the end of June. So there's constant communication. Obviously, there's a lot of strategy that goes on. You can't always, show your hand and stuff like that. But no, it's been great.
Well, one of the fun things I remember when I DM'd you for this interview is I got to kind of go back and relive the Ranney, AJ Gracia era. And I think the first thing I want to kind of throw out there to any Braves fans who might be watching or listening to the pod is you were a pretty darn good pitcher. We knew you as a two-way guy.
Yeah.
And then I think smartly, when you went to college, you focused solely on your work as a hitter and a fielder, and it's worked out really well for you. But I think I have as many AJ Gracia strikeouts and big spots on the mound as I do all those massive hits you had.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually went into college still two-waying, and in my freshman fall, I had a horrible fall at the plate, and I actually had a really great fall on the mound. And like going my first exit meeting like that fall was like they wanted me to be a bullpen arm and like start some midweeks and come out of the pen on the weekends. Like that was going to be my role on the team more so than a hitter. And then luckily I kind of came out in the preseason going into my freshman year, and I had a really good preseason and kind of didn't really have much expectation, but I got a start and I just kind of ran with it. But yeah, it was funny. I actually rolled into the college pitching a lot better than I was swinging it.
Well, I think you went in the right direction, and I might have driven down to Duke if they took that bat away from you. I remember the first time I saw you, I had heard the hype about Ranney, and I rolled up to Keensburg, and you guys were you put up I think 17, 18 runs, but you hit a bomb to right field, and that swing. You just don't, an old guy like me, you don't see a swing like that every day. And I got to see a lot of those home runs during your Ranney time. And then for you to just continue the process to get even better, tell us about the jump you made, because, you weren't an under the radar guy. We were talking you up, 3 or 4 years ago. What did you do to just get to that level where you're now a top 10 major league draft pick?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it wasn't always, sunshine and rainbows. I mean, I hit 080 my freshman fall. I kind of had to, I guess, be reflective and look at myself after that and like made some big changes. I mean, I kind of went into college the same way I swung in high school. I mean, you can see all the videos and stuff like that. Kind of spread out stance, crouch down. And then you look at me now; it's like pretty much the opposite. Kind of narrow, almost standing straight up. For whatever reason, I made that switch right after my freshman fall. For whatever reason, it just kind of clicked, and ever since then, I ran with it. Honestly,
going through something like that right out of the gate in college, that's going to serve you really well as you now have this goal of getting to the big leagues. How do you think that's going to help you? Because I'm watching, a guy like Paul Goldschmidt, who's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame, going through an 0 for 30 slump and things like that. How is that going to help you and have that mindset here? Because there will be more eyes on you because you're a top 10 pick.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's baseball. Like, yeah, you're always going to struggle. And I think, especially as a hitter, there's going to be constant adjustments and tweaks and stuff like that. That's just the nature of it. But dealing with that stuff in college is good. I feel like most of the time, a lot of the guys that are going in the first round of the draft, they're the best player in their high school team, one of the best players on their college team, and don't really have to face that much struggle. So getting to face that in college was cool because I know that, going to the Pro Bowl, I've kind of already done it. So,
and your time at Duke and following your coach to Virginia, clearly you made the right choices. What do you remember most about your college experience and how it shaped you? And there's a reason there's so many ACC guys going off the board here over the 2 days of the draft.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. I obviously love my 2 years at Duke and had planned to finish my career there. And then obviously made the switch over to Virginia unexpectedly, but I mean, it was amazing this year getting to play for Virginia baseball, and that brand, the fan base was really cool, and it was an experience I probably wouldn't have gotten honestly if I stayed at Duke. But no, it was awesome. I wouldn't change a thing honestly, and I have a lot of gratitude for Coach Pollard and that entire coaching staff because I mean they were obviously a big part of my development. So,
And as I walk back on memory lane here, what's the one moment from Ranney? What's the one clip I can grab here and we can drop in that stands out the most to you?
I mean, either our state championship my junior year or winning the Monmouth County tournament my senior year. Both of them were first for the school, which was really cool to be a part of. And those are games I'll never forget. I mean, I wish I could go back and relive that stuff. So those two were definitely my favorite.
Well, it was the homer right out of the gate in the state championship, and then you got the job done on the mound, and then you had a huge hit there, and it was Ryan Costello that drove you in.
Who walked it off? Yeah, yep.
Those were two good memories for sure.
Oh yeah,
that is so awesome. How quickly does life change for you now? At what point do you get involved into the Braves ecosystem?
Pretty much, at least from what I understand, Thursday I'll be flying out to Atlanta, and then I'll sign on Friday, and then Saturday I'm getting shipped down to Florida to the complex and kind of figure it out from there.
What does it mean for you to represent New Jersey baseball? It has been so exciting for us. This has been the craziest weekend for us because there are so many guys, both in high school and guys like you that we covered extensively 3 years down the road are going. What does it mean for you to represent New Jersey baseball? And I mean, I feel like in about 4 or 5 years, I'm just going to be traveling to ballparks all over the country just to see the guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's amazing. I love New Jersey. Grew up here, lived here my whole life. Would love to come back here and settle down when I'm done playing. But yeah, I think honestly, New Jersey baseball doesn't get the love it deserves. I think there's a lot of talent here. I think just because it's a smaller state, people don't really expect much. But kind of being able to represent the state, represent the short conference is really cool because there is. I mean, I'd challenge New Jersey baseball and short conference baseball against anywhere else around the country, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, look, back-to-back years, right? We had Andrew Fisher from Wall going in the first round. Now you in the first round, and look, there's more to come. It's pretty awesome. So, I am excited for you to be involved in such a first-class organization. A million years ago, I was a sportscaster in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And I covered the Pelicans at the time, were the Braves High A affiliate, and their manager was Brian Snitker, who we all know won a World Series and just retired, but is still a senior advisor in the Braves office. I now have an excuse to reach out to Snit and let him know what an unbelievable pick he made at number 9. So if he does run into you, hopefully I can bend his ear because the amount of baseball I learned from Brian Snitker in those 3 years was just incredible. Just learning about everything. And I'm just so excited for this journey you're about to go on. And I guess we can wrap this up, AJ, by just, who do you want to thank? Who are the influences? Sometimes it's a blur yesterday. Who do you want to thank for being in the position you are right now?
I mean, first and foremost, my family. I mean, the amount of sacrifice that they made growing up to, drive me to practices, traveling around the travel ball circuit. I mean, it's definitely a lot of sacrifice. It was a lot of fun, but definitely a lot of sacrifice from them. So they're definitely the first people. And honestly, just the Ranney school as a whole those 4 years was a really cool experience for me. Obviously, again, unexpected. Didn't think I would end up there. But that school's an amazing place and a place that I'll have in my heart for the rest of my life. So I'll say those two for sure.
And yeah, you've made your mark. It started with Scotty Lewis and Brian Antoine putting basketball on the map, and then it was you taking that state championship. And now the baseball program's in a great place. I think in large part because of the mark that you guys made back in the day. So AJ, I can't thank you enough for not forgetting about Jersey Sports Zone here.
Oh, yeah.
And I going to try and make a deal with you that the next time you and I talk on camera is down in Atlanta when you're a big leaguer with the Braves, man. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm in.
Blast from the Past is brought to you by the Heldrich, New Brunswick's only 4-star hotel and a preferred hotel of Rutgers football fans since 2005. The Heldrich helps you make the most of your game day weekend, providing premium accommodations in the cultural heart of downtown New Brunswick. Restaurants, bars, theaters, parks, museums, and more are only steps away. Whether you're traveling alone or with a large group, book your stay at the Heldrich and make the most of your game day weekend. A big thanks to all of our sponsors, including the Heldrich Hotel. The Blast from the Past is basically this entire episode, right? All these college guys that get drafted fall right into our Heldrich Blast from the Past segment. So, with AJ Gracia, we were able to show all of his old Ranney highlights. It was awesome. So now let's turn our attention to the high school kids that got drafted. The first name off the board happened on Sunday in the 6th round when the Chicago White Sox selected Alex Weingartner, the do-it-all state player of the year from St. Augustine. He was on our podcast about 2 months ago, and we talked about what this day was going to be like. Now Tyler Mroz heads into his backyard and talks with the newest member of the White Sox organization. Here's Tyler and Alex Weingartner.
All right, we are here with the Chicago White Sox 6th round draft pick from St. Augustine Prep, Alex Weingartner. Alex, what does it mean to you to be selected in the MLB Draft?
I mean, there's not many words to describe it. It was definitely a special day today. I'm super excited, and to be a part of the Chicago White Sox family, it's something that I take a lot of pride in.
Now, were the White Sox on your radar, and were they a team that you were kind of expecting to get picked by?
Personally, I was not. They were definitely interested in me. I had built a good connection with one of the area scouts over area code games, and they weren't one of the ones that were super high on the radar compared to other ones, and it was definitely a really nice surprise. Made it a little bit more emotional because I wasn't even expecting it, but it was really cool, awesome opportunity.
Now, committed to Penn State, it sounds like you might want to be a part of the Chicago White Sox organization.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I definitely think I'm going to take the opportunity and sign. I think it's something that I feel like I'm in a really great position, and I'm just super excited. Really cool opportunity, and I think I'm going to take it.
Can you talk about your experience with Penn State? I mean, we just saw you on the phone, and it seems like you have a really good connection with the people over there.
Yeah, I mean, those guys, they are really great people, and that's something I took pride in when I was selecting my college, and those guys were with me throughout this entire process, and I'm still going to connect with them even through this next chapter of my life, and they're just somebody that they care about their players, and that's half the reason why I chose to go there. Definitely disappointed that I'm not able to be under the coaching staff that they have, because they have a great one, but I'm just super excited for this opportunity to be a part of the Chicago White Sox.
You've had an uncountable amount of moments in your high school career on Jersey Sports Zone. What is going to be the moment that you look back on in 10 years?
It's definitely hard. I think for sure, like, my senior year was a special one, and there was a lot of cool moments. Like the Red Bank Catholic game that was probably the coolest baseball game I've ever been a part of. But I mean, like, just from a team aspect, I think my sophomore year winning a state championship, like, nothing beats that. Personally, and I think that was a really cool moment that I'll probably, in Jersey Sports Zone history, like that's a video that when I watch, it's super special, but definitely tough. A lot of cool moments.
Now, St. Augustine is one of the most prestigious schools, not just in South Jersey, but in the entire state. So what was it like playing 4 years there?
Yeah, I mean, it was super special. Like, I grew up and I was around that place for a while. Like, I always say I've been going to Richmond for 8 years now, counting my brother, and just being around the game and then going able to actually be a part of it was something that I was super grateful to have the opportunity to do, and just kind of fulfill all the things that my brother paved out the way for me. And it's just like, it's super special. There's not a lot of words to describe it.
Now, speaking of your brother, got drafted a year ago. How has he helped you throughout this whole scouting process?
Yeah, I mean, I personally always tell him, like, I wouldn't be who I am without him. I wouldn't be where I'm at without him. And it's super cool to have an older brother and be in the similar position as him. Like, now being able to do the same thing he does, like, it's really cool. And for us, it's never really been a competition. Like, we've competed with each other, but we both have our own journeys. And I think that's what makes us so tight together, because we're there for each other. We support each other. And he's given me a lot of advice just how to handle all of it. And I think like a lot of the things that I have with my mindset is from him. And there's nothing really I can describe to put into words how much grateful I am for him to be in my life.
Now I'm going to give you the floor for the last one here to talk directly to the White Sox fans. What should they expect from not just the player Alex Weingartner, but the person?
Yeah, I think the White Sox are definitely getting a guy that is normally overlooked. I think that they're going to get somebody that's going to go out and have passion in the game and go out and perform at a high level.
Alex Weingartner, thank you so much for allowing me to come here on the day you get drafted and for giving us an endless amount of moments on Jersey Sports. So wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Princeton Orthopedic Associates serves Central Jersey with world-class, world-recognized orthopedic care. A special thanks to Bill Heinsick and Princeton Orthopedic Associates for supporting New Jersey athletes and Jersey Sports Zone for the last 9 years.
It's really nice to be in a situation, in a place where there are very good people who take good care of people.
Orthopedics is it's not about saving lives, it's about saving quality of life.
A lot of people, we live high-stress lives, so if you tell someone they can't do something for whatever reason, that's pretty traumatic.
I really take pride in trying to be empathetic and trying to put myself in every patient's shoes.
I want to take care of people like I'd want to take care of my family, and I think that when you do that and give somebody that family feeling and give them your honest opinion for what you would do, they value that.
It was an exciting day in Rumson on Sunday as Reece Moroney heard his name called in the 10th round of the Major League Baseball draft by the Philadelphia Phillies. Reece, kind enough to join us. I can remember like it was yesterday that big hit you had to tie the game against Wall in the section final, and now here you are getting ready to start your pro baseball career. I'm so proud of you, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Just tell me a little bit about your journey. I think I really wanted to talk to you because I think your journey is so important. You were an awesome player in the short conference, but I'd be lying to you if I said, hey, this guy's going to be a pro. You went to the University of Rhode Island, awesome school, but not known for cranking out major league talent. How did you arrive where you are right now?
So just kind of with the baseball scene, kind of was just brought in with the college process. Tommy Pants actually helped me a little bit, the photographer. So he got me like one of my first calls, and then that kind of just like started the whole train. But URI called me. They were one of the first schools to reach out. I talked to them for a while and then fell in love with it, fell in love with the area, the coaching staff, and the team, and felt like home. And pretty similar area to here, so kind of just fell in love with it.
And what did you do at Rhode Island? When you watch your film in high school, I think what you did at Rhode Island just accentuated that. You're a great contact hitter. You got great baseball IQ. You know how to get on base, and you just keep on getting on base. And I feel like you did that at Rumson, and you certainly did that at Rhode Island, and the Major League Scouts took attention to that.
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of just always kind of had it. So I was kind of thankful just to have the coaches that always believed in me, gave me the opportunity. So being able to play as a sophomore kind of right away just because COVID happened my freshman year. But Coach Stewart giving me the opportunity, and then URI looking into it, them helping me kind of gain that confidence and trust, and they also believed me. So just having that support staff through all the coaches and then helping develop me as well.
At what point did the light switch turn on to you that, hey, I might be able to keep doing this thing beyond college? When did the scouts start showing up at URI games?
So I was actually talking to my buddies about this. So one person got drafted, Anthony DePino, our third baseman, and then our right fielder got signed. So we always kind of had scouts at my game. So that was definitely helpful, but I never really realized that I was getting the attention until about the fall of this year, and then going into the winter, starting to have some meetings and all that. But the whole process was cool, but without those two in front of me, I don't know if I would have gotten the looks and all that to get here where I am today.
That's so awesome. What was the moment like for you on Sunday? Kind of take me through it, because I'm sure, you watch the first day and then it was only 4 rounds. I'm sure you're thinking Sunday, hey, this is the day. What was the moment like? Can you kind of set the scene for me?
Yeah, so it was just my family here. It was a pretty stressful day. We were all kind of pacing, staying away from each other for a little bit, but kind of once it got to the 10th round, I got a phone call about 10 picks before, and once I got that phone call, it was kind of just like a big moment. I didn't tell my parents who it was, so I kind of just like built some suspense there, but once my name was called, everybody kind of just went berserk, and it was a cool moment that I'll never forget.
That is so cool. And now you get to start this dream of trying to be a big leaguer. I think the one thing that I'm most excited about, and I think the Phillies have done a great job of taking a lot of talent around New Jersey here over the last couple of years. Last year, Matt Ferrara got drafted. Braeden Lipoff from Gloucester, who we just saw this past spring, is an awesome catcher. I'm excited at the prospect. I can make that short road trip down, hopefully, to see you play for the Jersey Shore Blue Claws. I don't know when it's going to be, but I think it's going to be so cool that on your journey here in the minor leagues, one of those stops is going to be right down the road in Lakewood.
Yeah, it is cool. So just like all the local fields, so it's Blue Claws, Reading, and Allentown. So my parents have always went to a lot of games, so just being able to gonna have them there is gonna be a really cool experience.
What's next for you? What's the timeline? How quickly do you get acclimated into the Phillies system?
So Friday we go over to the stadium, and then Tuesday I think we sign, and then we just ship it off straight to Clearwater.
And you're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Reece, I can't tell you how proud I am of you, man. Let's wrap it up with your best Rumson Fairhaven moment from your high school career.
I mean, you brought it up already. I feel like it kind of has to be that down to 2 outs. We got down to 2 strikes a lot, and then we just kept fighting. I mean, Andrew Fisher was pitching, so that was definitely a big moment too. But just winning that and then having the whole school watching, everybody runs onto the field, and we got our first sectional, kind of just as that group of guys. So that was definitely a cool experience to have, and being able to share it with the whole school.
And just to think, Andrew Fisher is going to be with the Brewers before we know it. You're in the Philly system. That game was an epic game. Rumson Fairhaven beating Wall to win the section championship. And little did we know we had some future pros on the field. How cool is that, man? Reece, thanks so much for taking the time with us. I can't wait to follow your journey and keep doing your thing, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
ACI Medical and Dental School in Eatontown has been helping students succeed for over 2 decades. Their short-term programs can jumpstart a long-term career in just 5 months with an 89% employment rate. Their medical assistant program helps you learn phlebotomy, EKG, and patient care technician skills. The dental assistant program includes dental radiology licensing. They're affiliated with top employers like Eastern Dental, RWJ Barnabas Health, Central State VNA, and hundreds more. It's a great pathway to nursing and dental hygiene. Perfect for second careers, college grads, or empty nesters. Call 732-440-4110 and learn how medical assistants can earn up to 4 national credentials and 10 college credits. ACI Medical and Dental School, a new beginning on Broad Street in Eatontown.
Dream big, they say. We say dream bigger. Over 3 million square feet of bigger, so you can plunge deeper. Play in the snow longer. Wonder greater. Pose with your friends sillier. Shop with your family happier. Make every meal tastier. And float higher than ever. Whatever your dream is, come live it big time at American Dream.
I thought it would be fun to bring in James Mooney, who was really our manager in the dugout all weekend long, just kind of moving all the pieces around. It was a wild thing for us to cover because you had the kids that we just covered a couple of weeks ago in high school. You had these college guys that 3 years ago were all over the Jersey Sports Zone highlights. And 18 guys in all, a combination of the two, were drafted over the weekend in a wild 2 days, James.
It really was wild. The MLB draft is unlike any other. It's 20 rounds, so it's a bit of a marathon compared to, like say the NFL draft where it's only 7 rounds. But just great to see all this New Jersey talent getting their name called and taking the next step, becoming professionals now, leaving the amateur ranks, leaving the high school and college ranks, and beginning their professional careers. A lot of names, like you said, guys we had just been covering. Alex Weingartner, I saw plenty of him this past spring. But even some of the guys that, it'd been a few years since we had seen them. You saw AJ Gracia, who you saw plenty in high school, and we just talked to earlier on. Cameron, Flukey, Eric Becker, another guy that went early, Ryan Lynch, a guy I saw once, played in the College World Series not that long ago. So it was really, really great to see all these guys go.
Well, I think maybe, James, we should just walk through it, right? And go pick by pick, and we'll kind of give like little different insights and storylines. But I think, we had Gracia on. He was awesome. I think we got to talk about Cam Flukey. Let's give a shout out to Mike Frankel. I feel like he was the one that was like on Flukey watch very early. So, hey, Egg Harbor's got this really good dude. Flukey went to Coastal Carolina, pitched for Kevin Schnall, another guy with Jersey ties. Had a little bit of an injury. So I think that was the only question mark heading into this. He did not have a full season this year with Coastal. It still works out. He goes to the Tigers organization that certainly has done a great job of developing arms. Look no further than Tarek Skubal.
I know. That was pretty cool. How about that? He sees a little Cam Flukey while he's mid-interview and just kind of says, yeah, we're good. I love the pick. But, I mean, you look at the video we have, and, even if you see some of his video at Coastal, I mean, he's got the frame that just about every major league organization wants from a pitcher, and the kid throws 98 miles an hour on top of it. So the Tigers have gotten themselves a phenomenal prospect that I'm sure in a few years we'll see him in the show.
The next guy that goes off the board, I love the mystique of numbers in baseball, right? Eric Becker from Don Bosco. Now, last year, we were all over Nick Becker, the Don Bosco shortstop, who was the second-round pick of the Mariners. He was the 57th pick overall. Eric Becker went to Don Bosco, was at the University of Virginia, was on the top of a lot of draft boards. He goes in the second round, 58th overall. So Nick's got the bragging rights by one. We'll find out who got more signing bonus money here coming up, when all those things are revealed a week from now. But how about what a moment for that family, right? The Becker family, back-to-back years, their sons are drafted in the second round of the Major League Draft.
What a moment! What a 2-year span! Or not even 2 years, but a year span. You go from one brother getting drafted to the other one getting drafted a year later, just one pick later.
So we'll just keep working down the board here. Peyton Bonds at Franklin. We didn't get a chance to get. These are kind of the things where you sit there. Well, I wish we had gotten some Peyton Bonds footage. Went on to Rutgers. Obvious choice here with the Giants. Nephew of Barry Bonds. Grandson of Bobby Bonds, say no more, right? So congrats to Peyton Bonds going in the third round to Frisco. And then the last day one pick you alluded to a little earlier, Ryan Lynch from Morristown going to the Padres in the third round. Another program that consistently turns out major league talent, the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Yeah. I got to see Ryan on the mound once his senior year, threw a 10 strikeout, complete game shutout to open the state playoffs. That's all I needed to see. I was like, okay, I see why he's going to North Carolina.
On the ice, you train to avoid getting checked. But in life, getting checked is the smart thing to do. By scheduling regular doctor visits and screenings, don't let joint pain, heart disease, or cancer go unchecked.
Get checked.
So when you get to the high school guys, I think this is really important to know. Maybe we could talk about the two guys that weren't drafted. Jason Amalbert from DePaul Catholic, Mickey Gilligan from Passaic Tech. In the normal world of kind of sports analysis and draft analysis, if this was another sport, you could sit there and say, oh, the scouts clearly didn't have a need to pick these guys. That's not the case here. I can go out on a limb here and say that Jason Amalbert and Mickey Gilligan got phone calls from Major League Baseball teams on Saturday and probably Sunday. And the calls meaning maybe going to their agents, where there's a back and forth here. So those camps and those folks have numbers in mind of, hey, I'll sign for this amount of money. And I think that's what happened with Gilligan and Amalbert, right? So it wasn't, oh, they're not good enough to get drafted. They were unequivocally good enough to get drafted. The number wasn't agreed upon. With Jason Amalbert, he's going to the University of Oklahoma, who just won the College World Series. I would imagine that the Sooners were like, hey, we've got this money for you if you want to come here instead of going to the pros. Mickey Gilligan's committed to Rutgers. And I think the other guy we need to bring into the conversation here, James, is Noah Danza from Gloucester Catholic. He withdrew his name the night before the draft. And by doing that, he had obviously agreed to some sort of NIL deal with Mississippi State, which is an SEC power. And so Danza went the college route right before the draft, so he didn't have to sit there and sweat it all weekend. He knew what he was going to do, came to an agreement. Jason Amalbert's going to go to Oklahoma. Mickey Gilligan's going to go to Rutgers. This is a very safe prediction. I think 3 years from now, all that video we put together of those guys, we'll be using it 3 years from now when they're draft eligible again, and they're going to get drafted.
100%. 100%. All three of those guys are absolute studs, and they're only going to get better at the college ranks. You've got two guys in the SEC, Mickey Gilligan at Rutgers. We like to have fun with Rutgers every now and again, but that baseball program's been producing plenty of talent to the MLB the last couple of years. Peyton Bonds, who we just talked about, Trevor Cohen last year from Holy Spirit. So really looking forward to what those guys will do in college.
Jag Physical Therapy is a trusted name in quality treatment. Get back the life you love. Thanks to Jag Physical Therapy for supporting New Jersey athletes and Jersey Sports Zone for the last 5 years.
Why go through physical therapy? Seriously, why go through all of that pain and suffering? You can give it your all and still fall short, still feel less than whole. I guess the better question would be, what if you don't?
The St. Joe's Hawks in Philly, 3 South Jersey guys all get drafted on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, awesome stuff there. Not bad for a basketball school, right? St. Joe getting 3 guys drafted. And it kind of goes into the next guy on the list here. Andrew Gaines played at St. Augustine. Another, I believe that's like 5 or 6 Hermits that have been drafted in the last 2 years. Andrew Gaines, Christian Coppola, a former Cedar Creek standout, and then later in the day, Duke McCarron from Ocean City. All 3 of those guys played big roles for St. Joe this past season. I believe they combined for an 18 strikeout day.
Okay.
During the season. So unbelievable stuff. And, shout out St. Joe. I guess it's the Hawk will never die.
The Hawk will never die, James. That's right. I think the most unique and coolest mascot in all of sports is now I'm a St. Bonaventure guy, so I kind of know the story of the Hawk because you play St. Joe's twice a year. That Hawk would come up to St. Bonaventure. He flaps his wings the entire game and never stops. The only rest, quote unquote, rest he gets is during a timeout, he's allowed to put one hand in the huddle. The other one has to keep going. And so you tell this story to people, you're like, oh, come on, you're exaggerating. Then you start watching the game. That's literally the case. And I don't know if it's changed, but back in the day, if you were the Hawk, you got a full ride to St. Joe's. That was a full scholarship. Like you had to work your way to it. And clearly the person had incredible upper body strength because they literally did this for 24, 26 games a year. So I don't know if the Hawk was at any of the St. Joe's baseball games. It would be awesome if he was. But yeah, nice little sidebar there talking about the St. Joe's. But I think the lesson here is, you focus on all these guys who go to SEC and ACC and all these top arms and all this stuff is there's a lot of different ways to get to the Major League Baseball draft. And clearly the scouts have eyes on all the college programs, junior college, NAIA, everything. They're looking in every place under the sun. And you never know when and where they are. And I'll segue this into what I think was the bombshell shocker of the draft day for us on Sunday in such a wonderful way. We had done our homework, right? We knew who got invited to Arizona. We had went and put all of our reels together of all these guys. And then you read all these things about who might get drafted. And we put a lot of highlight reels together. Then in the 16th round, out of nowhere, the Baltimore Orioles picked Brayden, the Cranford shortstop, who was an awesome player. So, I mean, it's not like he doesn't belong, but we just didn't see it coming. I don't know if anybody had Brayden on any pre-draft radar whatsoever. And what a wonderful surprise. We said in our meeting before, right, James, there's going to be a fall out of your chair, like what just happened kind of moment. And that was our moment, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And shout out to Brayden. I mean, going to the Baltimore Orioles, young organization, I think he'll have an opportunity to make an impact there as they develop him and all that. But we try our best to do as much homework and make this crazy day as easy as possible. But every now and again, as we say in any draft, all it takes is one team. All it takes is one team to be interested in you and to make that dream possible. And clearly the Baltimore Orioles thought pretty highly of Brayden.
Brayden with 10 homers in his senior season for Cranford, helped the Cougars win a section championship. We were there. He went 4 for 4 with a homer and a double that should have been a homer. If you look at our replay, he should have had a 2-homer game. He still went 4 for 4. You got to ask yourself was there an Orioles scout? I remember there's a huge crowd. They were all around the outfield. Maybe the Orioles scout was there, because if you watch Brayden in that particular game, you would see, hey, this guy's got a lot of talent and he's got a great tool set. Great shortstop for Cranford. And way back when, this is what the fun part of our archives is, as a freshman, Brayden hit a walk-off at Kane University to beat Governor Livingston 1-0 and give Cranford a Union County championship. So we had him way back when, it was almost like we had some really good tight shots of him, but I almost didn't want to put him on there because he's grown up so much in the 4 years that we've covered him. So shout out to Brayden for, number one, giving us great highlights for over 4 years on Jersey Sports Zone. That's pretty awesome. But that was such a wonderful surprise, James. And that's what makes the draft for the Major League perspective as unpredictable as anything we cover in any sport.
It really is unpredictable. Every year there seems to be at least 1 or 2 surprises.
Let's go through some of these other picks here. Aidan Teel, Minnesota Twins out of Mahwah in the 11th round. His brother Kyle, who I got a chance to catch up with in Somerset a couple of summers ago. Kyle is now the starting catcher for the White Sox. I think he's going to have an awesome career. I mean, he is in the major leagues. I think the days of him, his minor league days are behind him. I think he's about to become an everyday regular catcher in the big leagues. He had a hamstring injury at the end of spring training, so it slowed him down. But he's in the lineup now, doing great things with the White Sox. His brother Aidan, yet another Teel, gets drafted. I think they've got in that family, 4 baseball draftees and a football draftee. I mean, just absolutely incredible. Look, great job by Aidan going to the Twins there in the 11th round. Let's talk about Zack Konstantinovsky, a guy from North Brunswick. He was on the JSZ highlights a lot, James. He was one of those guys, like, pitcher of the year, all that kind of stuff. And what was interesting was he stays close to home and he becomes Rutgers Friday starter. Remember when you're talking college baseball, you line up your rotation, Friday, Saturday, Sunday are your big games. So you have your 1, 2, and 3. And in the middle of the week, they're almost like bullpen games, or you start somebody out. But, if you're the Friday starter, you're the ace of the staff. And that's what Konstantinovsky was. He goes to the Washington Nationals. Another guy that, boy, we had a ton of highlights on at JSZ. That's the fun part, is we kind of get to relive 3 years ago, right? Like you kind of go back, they won a GMC. That was, I think, maybe he would say the highlight of his high school career if we were to talk to him. He won that GMC for North Brunswick, beating St. Joe's Metuchen, and pitched a gem there at East Brunswick Tech.
Yeah, and I think it's worth noting here that I believe every single team in the NL East took a Jersey guy.
Yes.
Not too bad.
Well, that's a great segue, because you're talking NL East. The New York Mets take Zack Crotchfeld from Jackson Memorial. We now know Jackson Memorial is Jackson Township, but he pitched for that great Jaguar team. Was part of the last dance that went deep and made it all the way to the championship, losing to Cranford. Crotchfeld, a great lefty. He started at Auburn. He was in the Sun Belt at Troy. Great lefty arm. I shot him a bunch of times back in the day. Listen, if it were up to me, I'd love to see the Yankees and the Phillies and the Mets just, gobble everybody up. And this year's draft, the Phillies got a lot of guys. The Mets took Crotchfeld. The Yankees didn't take anybody, but certainly the Yankees have taken guys, most notably Anthony Volpe, who's their shortstop right now. So, Crotchfeld goes to the Mets in round 14. And now we go to, how about a little old Tappan angle here? We've got current day ace and back in the day ace. Alex Kranzler was a guy that, we were like, God, we got to get Alex Kranzler. We got to get Alex Kranzler. He decided to go to Vanderbilt instead of getting drafted out of high school. Was one of those bullpen arms. He goes to the Red Sox in the 17th round. And then in the 19th round, Kolkebeck, guy that, we all were right there. We talked about it right in our preseason meetings. We got to get Kolkebeck whenever we can. And we sure did get him. I got him throwing a 2-hitter in the state semifinals. You got him throwing that gem in the state championship game. For me, he's a guy that was consistently sitting in the low 90s. But when you look at his frame and you look at the kind of the trendy word in the baseball world is these pitching labs, right? Like, I feel like he's going to get into the Texas Rangers pitching lab, and we're going to see him throw a 96, 97 before you know it. They're going to develop him the right way. I think he's got a great upside. I think he's got a lot of potential. I love his frame. I also love the way he conducts himself. He's very much on an even keel. Pitches a 2-hitter, dramatic state semifinal win. He doesn't get too riled up. He knew that he had one more start to go. And boy, when you go to Rutgers, pitch in the state championship game and pitch like that, I mean, it's different than just any other start. So he showed that he can pitch in a big spot as well as, just having that awesome stuff.
Absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head with the even keel thing, because I think that was what I took away most from that state championship game. Just an absolute workman-like approach on the mound, stays in rhythm, and just knows what he wants to do out there. All the talent in the world, the frame, as you mentioned. But, I'll give you credit, Rich. Kolkebeck wasn't on too many draft radars, but he was on just enough where you were like, I think it's going to happen. And lo and behold, 19th round, Texas Rangers.
And then the other high school guy that, James, you brought up a good point when we talked about this in our pre-meeting, which is like, I guess it's a surprise, but it really isn't a surprise. Brayden Lipoff from Gloucester Catholic is awesome. And the Phillies grab him in the 19th round. And I feel like him and Kolkebeck are in the same boat, which is we'll look here. I think it's Jim Callis. He'll list like every signing bonus. And we like to just do it for fun to just see what the guys get, right? If I had to predict, I'm thinking Lipoff and Kolkebeck are going to get over that 150. I kind of feel like the Phillies picked it up and said, hey, can we get you for X? And Lipoff's like, yeah, I'm in. Let's go. I got to see Lipoff in the Del Barton game. That game where they played that tournament early on. That great tournament was like, it was like 4 teams down in South Jersey, 4 teams at Del Barton, and then it was Del Barton and Gloucester in the final. And there were so many guys, and all I kept talking about to you was Lipoff because he was just we have it on the highlights here. He threw out a runner. I was like, oh, that's a major league throw. Had a 2-run single. He just looked the part, right? He just looked the part. He looks like he can handle a staff. And that Gloucester program speaks for itself, right? So he's got that pedigree as well. But I know you're a Phillies fan. You got to be. I mean, between Reece, Moroney, and Lipoff, you got to be excited for what's to come here.
Yeah. Phillies, another organization that no stranger to taking some New Jersey talent. They took a couple guys last year in Matt Ferrara and Logan Dawson. And I'll tell you what, Braeden Lipoff is that dude. Like you said, behind the plate, he's got everything you want as a catcher. He's managed and, called games for some high-profile arms. They had some good ones there this year. And then, I mean, he is a monster at the dish. Hit nearly 500 this season, and was almost kind of the spark plug because you see in some of the highlights he gets fired up, but he stays even keel until it's time to let it out, and he can get that dugout going real quickly for Gloucester Catholic, and he did it consistently for the last few years for the 4-time state champs.
And the last pick, fittingly, a very familiar name, Carsten Sabathia III, played his high school baseball at Bergen Catholic, most recently at the University of Houston. He goes in the 20th round to the Milwaukee Brewers. The fun part about this for me is Carsten is a senior now in college. He was a junior and was eligible for the draft last year. He went to the draft league and played for the Trenton Thunder. And during this time last year, right before the draft, I said, boy, I feel like he'll probably be a late pick. And I did this whole big feature of him a couple of weeks out before his dad was going into Cooperstown in the Hall of Fame. And Carsten was just such a first-class kid. I just said, wow, this kid's got great character, great makeup. And I thought, hey, I'm going to do this piece last summer, and boy, we're going to look like we're geniuses because he didn't get picked in the draft. And then we do the piece, and he doesn't get drafted. And so I was like, oh. And then it's like it goes away. So then when I hear his name get called there late in the 20th round, I was like, oh, it's just a year early. I was psyched for him because I felt like he wanted it to happen last year. And to his credit, he went in, he put the work in, kept doing his thing. Remember, he's not a pitcher. He's a position player, power hitting guy. We saw him a lot at Bergen Catholic, going to make a name for himself. And I've really enjoyed his dad. I think has tweeted 3 or 4 different times just how excited he is that his son got drafted. I mean, he's through the roof. It's fun to see him, CC Sabathia's dad, and just being so unbelievably proud. And he should be. Not about the baseball thing. Again, when you get a chance, I got to spend that time with him in Trenton. It's like you talked about, James, just great makeup. And if you don't think the scouts and major league organizations don't put a premium on that, they sure do. You want to have that good character person, the guy that's going to be a good teammate, the guy that's going to be able to handle adversity. That is so, so important to getting to the big leagues and then surviving in the big leagues. It's paramount. And Carsten Sabathia has all of that.
Really, I almost feel a little old. Growing up, I'm left-handed, so youth baseball, pitching, and all that. CC Sabathia, one of those guys I kind of look to, and now his son's in the league, and it's unbelievable, and really a nice way to cap out a tremendous weekend for New Jersey high school and college baseball.
But James, thanks for all the work you did over the weekend, and we'll take a little bit of a breath, and then it'll be high school football preview time, right?
Yeah. Feels like it's right around the corner. Can't wait for to be talking football in a few weeks.
Absolutely. He's James Mooney. I'm Rich Crampanis. This has been a special Major League Draft edition of the Beyond the Score podcast. We will be back in August, where we will get into 2026 football mode. Big thanks to RWJ Barnabas Health for sponsoring the pod each and every week. So we'll be back in August and be with you for 40 weeks straight. We're looking forward to that. Until then, everybody have an awesome summer, and congrats to all of our Major League Baseball draft picks.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.